Hello, grade 11. Today we're covering chapter 4, lesson 2, the personal development. We're going to have like some definitions, then we're going to dig deep through the lesson. Let's start by defining rationalization. What's meant by rationalization? Actually, it's a process whereby an individual seeks to explain an often unpleasant emotion or behavior in a way that will preserve his or her self esteem. Some of the behaviors that a teenager or the adolescent, as we call it now, will behave in a certain way which could be unpleasant or not a good behavior. So he needs to preserve him or her self image. So he needs an explanation behind the event, which is called rationalization. He finds for the society or for himself a reason why did he behave the way that he shouldn't have behaved like. Identity crisis. The identity crisis actually is a period of inner conflict during which adolescents worry intensely about who they are. Actually, at this period, the adolescents start to develop or start to have their self image and to start to have their gender identity, whether they are acting like boys, like girls, they are starting to develop their self image and their gender identity. So it's called the identity crisis because they suffer a little bit before they settle down. In order to talk about the personal development, we're going to go or dig through many theories by many scientists. Let's explain more about the John Piaget theory, or as we call it, the formal operations or thinking. He think that thinking becomes more abstract and adult-like. Yes, now you are not thinking as a kid or as a child. Now you're developing your personal and intellectual skills and you are thinking now like an adult. You are taking more responsibility. You are counting every step you are doing. What about Dr. Elkin theory? Actually, he states that problems that face adolescents develop as a result of immaturity and abstract thought process. Yes, how? Because they are not thinking straight way? No. Actually, they are starting to criticize the society around them. And they are thinking only in an abstract way. Let's talk about the first way. They are finding fault with authority figures. Yes, authority figures could be their teachers, their parents, or other similar figures. These adolescents discover that people they are admired for years fall short of their ideal and let everyone know it. Yes, they are not the way you are thinking of. You find that they are not gods, they are not ideal, they have their own mistakes. And suddenly, a teen no longer wants to play tennis with her father and quits asking his opinion on a current news events. Yes, they find that their figure is not the figure he was looking at the whole time. We are all humans have our own mistakes. Number two, argumentativeness. Argumentativeness, actually, adolescents practice building their own viewpoints. Now they are not taking their figures or authority figures or parents as their source of point of view. Now, no, they are building their own by arguing any problem that presents itself. The argumentativeness can lead into strained relationships with parents and other adults who see the adolescent as merely being difficult. Yes, he's trying to have his own point of view, but you'll find that will have actually difficulties or disagreements with authority figures. Indecisiveness. To be aware of many choices, adolescents often have trouble making even simple decisions. Yes, they want to take care for every single detail So they find it a little bit scary to make their own decisions. And they have the fear of making wrong decisions. So maybe it's so great that the adolescent avoid itself by making no decision. Sometimes it's great because it won't make them take the wrong decision which could affect the rest of their lives. A parent's hypocrisy. Yes, a parent hypocrisy. Adolescents have difficulty understanding an ideal and living up to it. Yes, they are thinking of it as being hypocrite or as a process of hypocrisy. Self consciousness. Adolescents assume that everyone is thinking about the same thing they are themselves. Yes. They start to be aware of themselves and they think that everybody is thinking the same way. That leads them to avoid situations they think they will be uncomfortable. For example, a young man who has a good voice may be willing to sing in a choir, but not to sing a solo. Why? Because he's trying to avoid that situation which he will not feel comfortable in it. Next one is invulnerability. Being vulnerable or vulnerability, adolescents begin to feel special, that their experiences are unique and they are not subject to the same rules that govern everyone else. Yes, they start to think of themselves as a unique person, not like everybody, and this special feeling of invulnerability underlies adolescent risk-taking behavior and self-destructive behavior. Once you are very conscious with yourself and very self-confident, you may start taking risky decisions or destructive one because you are now aware of yourself as a person, not as a part of a group. This was Elkind Erickson, this was Dr. Elkind theory or point of view. We have other people which have different theories. For example, we have Eric Erickson and James Marika. Eric Erickson viewed development as discontinuous or proceed in sequential stages, showing that the establishment of identity is a key to adolescent development. So every adolescent needs to build an identity. It's his or her task that make him unique, which this is the main process starting being an adolescent to build your own identity, which is called the identity crisis, to find yourself role in the society, whether a feminine or a masculine one. But James Markia actually agrees also with Erickson. Four types of adolescent attempts to achieve a sense of identity. He said that we have four types of identities. The first one, identity moratorium, who are seriously considering the issue but have not made a commitment to any of the important matters facing them. Taking the issue very important but not taking decisions till today. The identity foreclosed, which means that the individual who has made a firm commitment about the issue based on their own choice, but on the suggestion of other individuals of this type, hasn't yet given any serious thought to make any decisions and has no clear sense of identity. And the last one is the identity achievement, who considered many possible identities and have freely committed themselves to occupation and other important life matters. So we actually go from the ones who consider but not making or taking any decisions, then the ones who made a firm commitment about the issues but actually didn't make decisions or clear sense of identity yet, and the last one was the achievement by taking or committing to occupations and important matters. Okay. That's it for today. Then we're going to complete next session. Thank you.